Blakey sat at the bar of an upscale but mostly empty Georgetown open-front restaurant, staring at the shot glass of tequila in front of him. He closed his eyes and drank, savoring the warmth of alcohol as if it were an antidote for the possession of his mind and body. The voice spoke freely now. "That's right, burn the infection out. Another 2 or 3 of the good stuff and things will tighten nicely. I thought we said beer. Did we? 6 beers, half a dozen shots. What's the difference? Another?" The bartender had returned. "Yeah, leave the bottle." Blakey already didn't like him. He sensed he'd be cut off before reaching full fruition. The Switzerland of alcoholism, Mr. Above Addiction, go back to your waiting pen. The next 2 shots of tequila went down as smoothly as the first, satisfying the strange craving. Tequila was never his weapon of choice. The yellow glow and unusually shaped bottle on the shelf had called to him. "Why tequila? I hate tequila." A mechanical voice spoke to him. "Drink. Thirst." Blakey looked around for the source and saw Alice was standing on the bar, drawing butterflies on the specials board. He looked at the shot glass and thought, "I've made a mistake." The mechanical voice spoke up. "The insatiable craving. How can they expect anyone to function up here with all these glorious temptations?" Blakey thought it might be the bartender, but he was busy making a blended drink and the blender wasn't audible. 10 feet away, an older couple were moving their mouths, but Blakey heard no words. He looked at the vintage jukebox, where he had just heard someone select some 80s pop hit. The lights were glowing, but no music could be heard. At the pool table, a younger man playing his friend broke, and that familiar crack of acrylic balls scattering was missing. There was no sound, but the warbling mechanical voice. "Right here, Professor, down in the pudding!" Blakey's eyes gravitated back to the finely crafted, Latin-scripted tequila bottle. There was a tiny copper machine caterpillar floating inside the tequila. "Now I know why I wanted tequila." "Shouldn't you be a worm?" Blakey asked. "That's mezcal. I'm more refined," the voice answered. The tiny insect was rust-covered, patchworked, and alien-looking. Its many rivets were corroded green. The chameleon-like, relentlessly pivoting eyes rolled back in his upturned head as it sucked on a poison tank hookah mask welded to its back. It spurted out small, swirling purple clouds into the bottle. The bartender brought Blakey's meal, which he had already forgotten about, and the voice commented, "Smells delightful. Wild mushroom tortellini in Parmesan butter sauce. I sympathize. How can duty be done? Done with these drugs. Fight with this food. Function with the drink. Humans and their wretched lust for happiness. I suppose it's never enough, is it? Nothing is. Pathetic, despicable, and delicious." The caterpillar took another suck of poison and exhausted it, polluting the tequila and tinting the slightly yellow liquid to blue. "So much grief. So much guilt. 2 of the very most flavorful forces, and you're neck deep in both. Stewing makes you do things you never would. Simmering even makes one think, see things that aren't really there. Bubble, my boy, bubble. Toil then trouble." "The hell do you know?" Blakey barked, catching himself. The bartender and woman stared. Blakey wished the bar was louder. How many times was the sound painfully loud in a bar, with everyone shouting to compete with the music? This bar was mostly empty, and every bit of his insanity was perfectly audible. The caterpillar continued, "I know whomever said children were irreplaceable was a fool. If ever there were a renewable resource, it is children. There was a time when man and woman would go through 3 or 4 before one made it to adulthood. Find a woman. Susan, mayhaps? Yes, oh yes. Understanding, lovely Susan. She'd like you as Jonah's father. She'd have your new children. Have another, have 3, name them all Alice. Move on. That's what real heroes do. They forge ahead no matter what. Children, there'll always be more." Blakey's jaw flexed, his eyes tearing up at the horror of the insect's reduction. "Will never replace her." The caterpillar knew Blakey wouldn't bite.
No? Well, I am here to deal. What is it that you want?
Its socketed eyes rotated as its body spun to adjust position, releasing more purple poison. Blakey jeered quietly. What can you give me?
I can provide. What do you desire?
I desire another drink. Blakey tilted the bottle for another shot, sending the caterpillar spinning inside and forcing a break in the conversation. It rebalanced itself when Blakey returned the bottle to the bar.
We all know you are formidable, Arthur. Strong, yes. You have been so large. Many debates. What will it take to stop the great Arthur Blakey?
He hissed. Why should I? What's it all to you? The caterpillar answered,
Everything and nothing, as it should be.
Blakey felt his speech change as he spoke with this phantasm. The cryptic speak was contagious. More nonsense. Can't burdens ever speak plain? The caterpillar spun again.
Who cares for you now? We are the ones who care. We want you to have whatever you desire. What do you want?
It huffed and spewed. The purple swirls danced and stirred, turning the alcohol darker. I want Alice back, said Blakey bluntly, calling the phantom's bluff.
Yes, well, that is not going to happen. Let us deal in reality.
Its eyes rolled and readjusted. Reality? Blakey laughed. What do you know of real? Fake, all of you. You live in here. He poked his temple. My head, I know that at least. I'm not that mad. He looked to the rest of the bar. People were either staring or trying not to. The caterpillar's eyes pinpointed.
I am in the knowing. I know what you need, and I know you've crossed. So I know you must redress, or you will pay a higher price than your daughter.
Oh, yes. He poured another shot. There is no higher price. The caterpillar tumbled around in the bottle and reiterated,
This was a serious violation.
Blakey cocked his face in suspicion. Of what? What did I violate? I was violated. Blakey poked his own chest.
The children, the mission you started, finish what you started. Yours is a lamentable offense indeed, but there is absolution. I am authorized.
The caterpillar waited for these words to sink in. What are you talking about? Blakey banged the bar top, rattling his plate. He didn't bother looking around, knowing everyone was gawking at the freak show of a man talking to a tequila bottle. Sorry. Blakey knew he'd be kicked out soon, and he was frustrated that he couldn't even function in public anymore. The caterpillar swirled for a plot. Blakey rubbed the smooth, lacquered bar top as he saw himself in the bar's mirror behind the bottles. He looked monstrous, pale and beaten. Is this where I give up? He lamented.
Brother, drink me. Forget. The real is pain. Hide it. Mask it. Drink.
The machine insect adopted a sympathetic tone and pulled its own plug. The propulsion pack on its back bloomed like an effervescent flower cloud, turning the tequila entirely purple.
Forgiveness. A sip away. A session. And you'll be left alone here.
The bottle's gorgeous, sparkling purple enticed him. The caterpillar dissolved with the opacity. For a long, pulsating moment, Blakey was tempted.
Why run when you can hide? Why try when trying won't be enough? Why fight when the fight won't ever end?
But he declined with a soft but emphatic no. The caterpillar's voice faded with its final proclamation.
A man of misery. How fabulous. If the sting of tragedy is what you crave, believe in the detective. He'll give you the real. He and his serial Vincent have plenty real.
Blakey pushed away the bottle. The bartender put it back on the shelf. I think you've had enough, buddy. I think you're right. Blakey asked for water to drink with his food, and the bar then became uncomfortably filled with happy hour patrons. Driving home as resolve took root, giving him hope. Doubt, perhaps from the poisoned tequila, pecked at him like a scavenger. A hero would find her. I'm none of those. Of course not. You're Arthur Blakey. Forgettable failure at large. I'm not, I will change, and I will fix it. Blakey pulled into his driveway, not knowing what awaited, but he carried the groceries he had stopped for on the way home. Vegetables and healthy fare were a clear attempt to turn things around. He even got a dinosaur-sized dog bone for Harry. Harry was already barking. Got a present, pal. As much as Blakey resented Harry being a constant reminder of Alice and the family he once had, as dogs go, he was actually a good dog. Blakey fumbled his keys and the dog continued to bark angrily. Okay, shut up already. As he struggled with the door lock and the groceries, a growing sense of danger gave him pause. The dog's barking became ferocious before abruptly ending in a yelp. Blakey backed away from the door, leaving the groceries and holding the bone as a makeshift weapon, looking very much like a Neanderthal. Rethinking, he hurried back to his truck and exchanged the bone for his trench club. Blakey slipped around the side of the house. The lights were off. The back sliding door was ajar. Must be that miserable detective. He slipped through the open door. As he moved into the kitchen, he stepped on some broken glass. There was a deep exhale, and it wasn't human. When he flipped on the living room lights, there were 5 shapes standing in the center of the room. Another emerged from the bedroom hall, effectively surrounding him. Their hulk and excessively long limbs filled all the maneuvering space. Their heads were lowered in an animal-threatening stance. Blakey panicked and felt a huge swell of doom. Only the day before, he barely took down 3 shapes at once. Here were 6. Then he saw Harry lying motionless in the corner of the room. Kill my dog? This signaled the imminent eruption of rage, displaying as a grotesque snarl on his upper lip. If this is the end, I'm ready, and I'll take you all with me. He pointed his trench club at each shape and announced, "Plenty for all." One stepped forward from the others, expansive claws raised. Blakey positioned himself, planting his feet wide apart, finding the proper balance. Blakey faked as if going for another, causing that shape to flinch back. Then he spun around and clocked the closest beast. The hit was an awful, meaty, percussive sound, and it killed it instantly. The shape collapsed into the broken TV. Blakey hissed with satisfaction. A second later, he was tackled by the shape on his left. A tug of war ensued as they all pummeled him. He was thrown against the wall, punching a giant hole in the drywall. Then he was tossed against the covered mirror, shattering it. The bedsheet saved his back from the glass, but he landed face first on the coffee table and blacked out.